Your brain doesn't just get tired, it literally floods itself with biological waste products when you think too hard, creating an internal energy crisis that leaves you utterly drained. It's not just a feeling, your most complex organ is actively generating metabolic exhaust, and without understanding this, you're trying to drive a high-performance engine that's slowly suffocating itself. This isn't just about feeling mentally fuzzy, it's a profound physical depletion happening at a cellular level. In this deep dive, you are going to grasp the hidden mechanisms behind cognitive exhaustion, specifically how intense mental effort triggers a cascade of metabolic changes within your brain, transforming it from a sharp instrument into a sluggish, overwhelmed system. We'll unveil the specific neurochemicals and cellular processes that contribute to that profound sense of mental fatigue, giving you the real science of what's happening when your thoughts feel like wading through thick mud. Imagine your brain as an incredibly intricate city, constantly buzzing with activity. During the day, its millions of residents, your neurons, are hard at work, communicating, processing information, creating thoughts, and driving everything you do. This intense activity requires a phenomenal amount of energy, and your brain is a true energy glutton, consuming about 20% of your body's total energy, even though it makes up only 2% of your body weight. But just like any bustling city, all this activity produces waste. Every thought, every decision, every problem you solve leaves behind a metabolic residue. You might think this waste simply disappears, or that your brain somehow just absorbs it. That's a common assumption, and it's also where the secret energy drain begins. When your neurons fire, they metabolize glucose, your brain's primary fuel source, and this process, while essential, generates byproducts. Think of it like a tiny, extremely efficient engine humming inside each neuron, constantly burning fuel. That engine produces exhaust. For a long time, the full impact of these byproducts on our waking cognitive function was underestimated. We knew the brain had ways to clear waste, primarily through the cerebrospinal fluid and the glymphatic system during sleep. But what about when you're wide awake, locked in an intense thinking session? A foundational study by Pellerin and Magistretti in 2004 was pivotal in highlighting how astrocytes, the brain's star-shaped support cells, play a crucial role in managing lactate, a key metabolic byproduct of neural activity. They showed that when neurons are highly active, they signal to these astrocytes, which then take up glucose and produce lactate, supplying it back to the neurons as an alternative fuel source. This is amazing adaptive teamwork. However, if the intensity or duration of your thinking outstrips the clearance system's capacity, these byproducts, like lactate, can begin to accumulate. And that's just one piece of the puzzle. Another critical player in this internal waste management system, or sometimes lack thereof, is adenosine. Adenosine is a neuromodulator that builds up in your brain during periods of prolonged wakefulness and high neural activity. It's essentially a signal of energy expenditure, and as it accumulates, it binds to specific receptors on your neurons, slowing down their firing, promoting sleepiness, and dampening excitatory neurotransmitter release. So, when you're pushing through a complex report or trying to master a new skill, that increasing sense of mental drag isn't just your imagination. It's adenosine literally tapping the brakes on your neural pathways, a natural, built-in mechanism to prevent overexhaustion and signal a need for rest. This brings us to the real revelation, the hidden process that radically transforms how you understand your own brain's daily performance. You see, it's not simply that your brain runs out of fuel, like a car running on empty. It's that the very act of thinking, especially intense thinking, creates an environment where the metabolic exhaust starts to actively interfere with its own operation. Imagine your brain as a supercomputer. When you run demanding programs, it doesn't just use up processing power, it generates heat, and that heat needs to be dissipated to prevent performance issues. In your brain, it's not heat in the traditional sense, but an accumulation of molecules like adenosine and excess lactate, which begin to gum up the works. Before understanding this, you might have felt that cognitive fatigue was simply a lack of motivation, or perhaps just a sign you weren't smart enough to tackle a complex task. You'd push through, feeling guilty for your waning focus, chalking it up to a personal failing. But now, with this knowledge, you see that your brain is facing a literal biological impediment. It's like trying to drive a finely tuned racing car when someone is pouring sludge into the engine while you're still on the track. Your neural pathways, which should be smooth, efficient superhighways for information, start to encounter roadblocks. The precision of your thought, the speed of your processing, the clarity of your memory recall all become compromised as these metabolic byproducts build up. A fascinating investigation by Dennis and collaborators in 2022 further revealed how the brain's internal energy management system, particularly its response to accumulating lactate, dictates the timing and intensity of perceived mental exhaustion. Their work highlighted that the brain isn't just passively receiving these signals, it's actively modulating its own activity in response, trying to protect itself. This isn't laziness. This is your brain's built-in self-preservation mode activating, telling you it needs a cleanup, a recharge, a break from the metabolic load. The profound sense of mental fog, the struggle to form coherent thoughts, the feeling that your concentration has simply vanished, is your brain quite literally telling you it's overwhelmed by its own internal byproducts. So, what can you actually do with this incredible insight? This operating manual page you've just uncovered. Instead of battling an unseen enemy, you can now work with your brain's natural processes. Here are 3 immediately actionable strategies to manage your brain's energy drain. First, embrace the power of strategic micro breaks. It's not about taking a long vacation, it's about frequent, short pauses. Think of it like a quick pit stop for your mental engine. Every 25 to 30 minutes of intense cognitive activity, give your brain a true 5-minute break. This means stepping away from your screen, looking out a window, getting up and walking a few steps, or even closing your eyes and just breathing. This brief pause allows the localized blood flow to increase, helping to wash away some of those accumulating byproducts and providing a moment for neurons to reset. Expected brain response? You'll find your focus renewed, your concentration sharper, and your ability to tackle the next segment of work significantly enhanced, rather than just forcing yourself through a diminishing return cycle. Second, optimize your brain's internal cleanup crew through targeted hydration and specific nutrients. Water is absolutely crucial for the transport of molecules, including waste, both into and out of your brain cells. Aim for consistent, moderate sips of water throughout your workday, not just guzzling it when you feel thirsty. Beyond hydration, consider the micronutrients that support mitochondrial function. These are the powerhouses of your cells, responsible for efficient energy production and waste management. Think of things like B vitamins, found in whole grains and leafy greens, and antioxidants from berries or dark chocolate. These compounds help your brain cells process energy more cleanly, reducing the generation of excessive byproducts in the first place, or enhancing their removal. The expected brain response is a more resilient brain, better equipped to handle sustained cognitive load with less rapid buildup of fatigue-inducing molecules. And third, master the art of varied cognitive load management. Your brain isn't designed to endlessly churn on a single, highly demanding task. Switching between different types of cognitive work can actually be restorative. For example, if you've been deeply focused on analytical problem solving for an hour, switch to a task that uses a different neural network, perhaps something creative, organizational, or even a simpler administrative task. This allows the neural pathways involved in the first task to experience a relative decrease in activity, giving them a chance to clear accumulating byproducts without a full stop. It's like rotating your brain's workforce, giving specific departments a break while others are still productive. You're not stopping work, but strategically redirecting your mental energy to optimize overall output and minimize exhaustion. Understanding this, you're no longer just someone who gets tired after thinking hard. You are a sophisticated operator of a biological supercomputer that generates its own exhaust, and you now possess a key piece of its maintenance manual. This isn't a flaw in your intelligence or work ethic. It's the beautiful, complex reality of your brain's metabolic process. You now see your mental fatigue not as a personal failure, but as a critical, scientifically explainable signal from your brain, urging you to engage in intelligent self-care. This knowledge transforms frustration into empowerment, giving you the ability to proactively manage your cognitive energy, sustain focus, and enhance your mental clarity throughout your day. The capacity for your brain to regenerate, to clear itself, and to maintain peak performance is far greater than you've been led to believe. And the fascinating discoveries continue to unfold, revealing even more profound insights into its daily workings and its hidden strengths. Unlock more of its secrets with us.